Hello, welcome to day 7 of A Course in Miracles. We will continue lesson 7 and also continue reading the text. Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles, Part 7, Distortions of Miracle Impulses. And I'm going to just put a language warning on this lesson because there are some words that may be very strange to you. They were to me, and I've just had to quickly consult the online dictionary to make sure I know what the words mean first. So I'll try my best to explain those as we go along. Okay, distortions of miracle impulses. Your distorted perceptions produce a dense cover over miracle impulses. Your distorted perceptions produce a dense cover over miracle impulses, making it hard for them to reach your own awareness. The confusion of miracle impulses with physical impulses is a major perceptual distortion. Physical impulses are misdirected miracle impulses. All real pleasure comes from doing God's will. This is because not doing it is a denial of self. Denial of self results in illusions, while correction of the error brings release from it. All real pleasure comes from doing God's will. This is because not doing God's will is a denial of self. Denial of self results in illusions, while correction of the error brings release from illusions. Do not deceive yourself into believing that you can relate in peace to God or to your brothers with anything external. Child of God, you were created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Do not forget this. Child of God, you were created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. The love of God for a little while must still be expressed through one body to another because vision is still so dim. You can use your body best to help you enlarge your perception so you can achieve real vision of which the physical eye is incapable. Learning to do this is the body's only true usefulness. I found that bit almost cryptic. Because it's saying that our body can help enlarge our perception in order to achieve real vision, of which the physical eye is incapable. Learning to do this is the body's only true usefulness. So I kind of feel like God's playing with us a bit here. Because if we can't get real perception through our physical eyes, what's the point in having a physical body? But I believe that what it means is that you've maybe heard the term that our body is a vehicle for our spirit. So I think that what the message is here is that if we are able to be in a physical body and to still see beyond the physical, because our physical eyes can't achieve real vision, then it's like perhaps expanding from these perceived barriers, these perceived separations and limitations. It doesn't make sense. Let me just keep talking. Let me just keep reading. Hopefully it'll make some sense to you. Fantasy is a distorted form of vision. Fantasies of any kind are distortions because they always involve twisting perception into unreality. Actions that stem from distortions are literally the reactions of those who know not what they do. Fantasy is an attempt to control reality according to false needs. Twist reality in any way and you are perceiving destructively. Fantasies are a means of making false associations and attempting to obtain pleasure from them. But although you can perceive false associations, you can never make them real except to yourself. You believe in what you make. If you offer miracles, you will be equally strong in your belief in them. The strength of your conviction will then sustain the belief of the miracle receiver. The strength of your conviction, how much you believe in the miracle you're giving, will then sustain the belief in the one who's receiving the miracle that you're giving. Reality is lost through usurpation, not sure if I said that right, which produces tyranny. Tyranny. I'm not really familiar with these words, so these are the ones I had to look up, you see. Reality is lost through usurpation. Again, I don't know if I've said it right. You can laugh at me, I don't mind. Usurpation, according to the search, means taking someone's power or property by force. Okay, so back to the text. Reality is lost through this act of taking power by force, which produces tyranny. I'm sure a lot of you know what that means. If you don't, like me, I didn't a minute ago, and I still need a reminder. Excuse the tapping on the keyboard. I'm just changing the screen. So tyranny, cruel and oppressive government or rule. Back to the text. Okay. The strength of your conviction will then sustain the belief of the miracle receiver. Reality is lost through taking power by force, which produces tyranny. That one I just explained. As long as a single slave remains to walk the earth, your release is not complete. Complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded. Wow. So, not one of us is free until all of us are free. And those who are miracle-minded know that the only goal is to have everyone free. Because as long as one is a slave or captive or still lost in their own unreality, in their own delusions and distortions and fantasies, their own hellish world, I guess, which they've made, not created, but made through erroneous thinking, as long as one remains in that state, your release is not complete. Complete restoration of the sonship. That's everyone, brothers and sisters. The terminology here does kind of, mimic biblical terminology, but it's all inclusive. So if I read it as sonship, it does mean everyone, brothers and sisters. So yeah, that's huge. That is huge. So we are all one. So as long as one individual person is not free, then none of us can be. So we need to keep our mind on the whole. This is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study at some level. Some of the later parts of the course rest too heavily on these earlier sections not to require their careful study. You will also need them for preparation. Without this, you may become much too fearful of what is to come to make constructive use of it. However, as you study these earlier sections, you will begin to see some of the implications that will be amplified later on. Okay, so this is the groundwork. It's important that we get an understanding of the essence of this message. Again, we might not understand every word, or we might skim over a few paragraphs and wonder what that was about, but the important thing is we get the essence of it, okay? And there's quite a few key points, themes, topics, revelations that come from studying the course. So I hope these things are starting to pop as we go along, and that you get a few aha moments, like, wow, awesome, I'm getting this. When a penny drops, it's like your soul gets a bit richer because it's a penny richer. So yeah, it's important that we get all of our pennies in the beginning to save up and build up, because we're going to need that depth of that richness for when we come to the later parts. So keep saving these gold nuggets of wisdom and truth and freedom. You'll feel it start to set you free. And know that this is only a slight taste of what is to come as we go along. And that was a diversion. That was a big side note. Let's go back. This is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study. Yes, 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 done that. You will need it for preparation. Yes, okay. A solid foundation is necessary because of the confusion between fear and awe, to which I have already referred and which is often made. I've said that awe is inappropriate in connection with the sons and daughters of God, because you should not experience awe in the presence of your equals. However, it was also emphasized that awe is proper in the presence of your Creator. I have been careful to clarify my role in the atonement without either over or understating it. I am also trying to do the same with yours. I have stressed that awe is not an appropriate reaction to me because of our inherent equality. Some of the later steps in this course, however, involve a more direct approach to God Himself. It would be unwise to start on these steps without careful preparation, or awe will be confused with fear, and the experience will be more traumatic than beatific. And the meaning of that word, beatific, is really beautiful. It means feeling or expressing blissful happiness. So I think we definitely want to make sure we're clear on the difference there, which we are being prepared through these words. Healing is of God in the end. The means are being carefully explained to you. Revelation may occasionally reveal the end to you, but to reach it, the means are needed. So it's saying again that ultimately the purpose of being miracle-minded is that miracles eventually are not going to be needed, because we'll be able to get direct revelation from God, which are the revelations. But in order to get to that point, we need to know the means by which to get there. And that's what is being explained to us now in A Course in Miracles. Okay, lesson 7. I see only the past. Now, this is interesting because if we go backwards just to refresh, yesterday I am upset because I see something that is not there. Okay, and then before that we'd had, I am never upset for the reason I think. These thoughts do not mean anything. I do not understand anything I see, and I have given everything I see all the meaning that it has for me. Nothing I see in this room means anything. Okay? So again, lesson 6 yesterday. I am upset because I see something that is not there. Lesson 7 today. I see only the past. This idea is particularly difficult to believe at first, yet it is the rationale for all of the preceding ones. It is the reason why nothing that you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning that it has for you. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything and why they are like the things you see. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think. It is the reason why you are upset because you see something that is not there. Old ideas about time are very difficult to change because everything you believe is rooted in time and depends on your not learning these new ideas about it. Excuse me. That needed a cough at the end of that sentence, didn't it? Hey? Old ideas about time are very difficult to change because everything you believe is rooted in time and depends on your not learning these new ideas about it. Yet that is precisely why you need new ideas about time. This first time idea is not really so strange as it may sound at first. That sounded strange. That sentence sounded strange. Oh goodness, I've got a cough again. Excuse me. This first time idea is not really so strange as it may sound at first. Look at a cup, for example. Do you see a cup, or are you merely reviewing your past experiences of picking up a cup, being thirsty, drinking from a cup, feeling the rim of a cup against your lips, having breakfast, and so on? Are not your aesthetic reactions to the cup too based on past experiences? How else would you know whether or not this kind of cup will break if you drop it? What do you know about this cup except what you learned in the past? You would have no idea what this cup is except for your past learning. Do you then really see it? Look about you. This is equally true of whatever you look at. Acknowledge this by applying the idea for today indiscriminately to whatever catches your eye. For example, I see only the past in this pencil. I see only the past in this shoe. I see only the past in this hand. I see only the past in that body. I see only the past in that face. Do not linger over any one thing in particular, but remember to omit nothing specifically. Don't leave out anything specifically either. Glance briefly at each subject and then move on to the next. 3 or 4 practice periods, each to last a minute or so, will be enough. Yeah, they're very strange kind of exercises. Are you finding that? it seems strange to be repeating these ideas. I see only the past in that apple. I see only the past in this flower. Please dedicate a few sessions in the day, just a minute or so at a time. Maybe you're having a cup of tea or on a lunch break. Or maybe you remember when you go to the toilet. I don't know. We're always thinking, aren't we? So we can do it anytime. But do try to commit yourself to putting the time into doing these exercises, because you're really going to get the most out of it if you do put in the time. Like we read today about studying. All learning requires some study, and this is really building our foundation for all the learning that we're gaining and that we were going to gain. It's just going to keep building and building and building. So do yourself a favor and do put in the time to practice these. Today's is pretty easy, I think. We don't even have to think about our own thoughts today. We just have to skim around us and say, I see only the past in, I see only the past in, I see only the past in. Okay, so try 3 or 4 times will be excellent, and I look forward to continuing with you very soon. Have a great day. May you be blessed, and see you soon. Bye.